Hello everyone, today we're going to dive into a thought experiment that's both terrifying and strangely exhilarating. Imagine this. You wake up on a bench. It's early morning. Your back aches from the cold metal slats. The city is just beginning to stir. You reach into your pocket, and there it is. $5. That's it. No phone, no ID, no safety net, no one coming to rescue you, just you and a crumpled bill. Your stomach rumbles. Your breath fogs in the air. It smells like damp cement, engine fumes, and last night's fried chicken grease from a nearby food cart. You sit up slowly, pretending it's by choice, not because your spine is locking up. You laugh, not because it's funny, but because your brain doesn't know what else to do. You may not know, but the facts show almost half of Americans couldn't cover a $400 emergency without borrowing or selling something. So imagine starting not from 0, but from 5. The question isn't, how do you get rich? It's how do you survive without losing your soul, and maybe even come out stronger? You scan the street. A barista is unlocking the coffee shop across the road. A jogger in neon gear runs past like a commercial for stability. You think about walking in and buying a coffee, but that would cost your entire fortune. Instead, you sit and plot. You need calories, but you also need opportunity. Hunger can wait, but time, that's expensive, so you take your first risk. You head to a dollar store. Not for food, but for tools. A sponge, a spray bottle, a rag, that's $3. You walk to the nearest parking lot and start washing windshields. Not aggressively, not the way that makes drivers lock their doors, but with a hopeful smile and just enough hustle to make them roll down the window and say, "Thanks, kid. Here's $2. It works. It actually works. By midday, you've made $7. You buy a day-old sandwich and a water bottle from a corner store. You eat slowly, like each bite is a negotiation with fate. You sit in the sun, chewing, and whisper to yourself, "That's ROI, baby." There are many people who still argue about the results of Enrich. Some say it's about working smart. Others say it's just dumb luck dressed in thrift shop shoes. But here's the truth your blisters are already teaching you. It's about motion. Movement creates momentum, and $5 is just a conversation starter. You meet your first oddball that afternoon. His name is Gary. He's retired, kind of. He sells painted rocks. Not Etsy, not eBay. Just a towel on the sidewalk and a Sharpie. One says, "Calm down." Another says, "You tried." You ask him why people buy them. He shrugs. People are tired, man. Sometimes they just want to hold something dumb that tells the truth. You borrow his marker and write on a blank piece of cardboard. Trying to turn $5 into something better. Got any ideas? A woman walking her dog sees it, laughs, and gives you a protein bar. "That's creative," she says. "Better than just asking for change." By nightfall, you've made $18. Your feet hurt, but not your heart. You've survived day 1. You find a 24-hour laundromat, pay $3 to sit inside and stay warm. You doze on a plastic chair, watching the dryers spin. And for a second, as the humming surrounds you, you realize you're not broken, just rebooting. Through this video, you have learned many concepts and effects of Enrich. Hopefully, with that useful knowledge, it will help you achieve results with Enrich as soon as possible. And don't forget to follow the channel, click like and turn on the bell to watch the latest videos about Enrich. See you again. You wake up stiff, clothes wrinkled, neck bent sideways from the plastic chair in the laundromat. The fluorescent lights buzz above you like 1,000 tiny lies promising comfort. But your money is still in your pocket. $20 now. It's not much, but it's more than you had yesterday, and that makes you dangerous in the best way. Outside, the sky is soft with morning light. You smell bread baking somewhere, a whiff of cinnamon from a street vendor cart. The world feels slightly more welcoming, like it noticed you didn't quit. With that in mind, you head to a dollar store again. This time, you buy a pack of bottled water. 6 for $2.50. You set up near a construction site just as the workers are arriving. Sweaty, half awake, fumbling for coffee. You offer the bottles. Cold water, just $1. A few ignore you. One guy mutters, "You hustle harder than my boss," then hands you $5 and takes one bottle. It snowballs from there. By noon, you've turned your $2.50 into $10. Then $20. Your fingers are sore from lugging bottles, but your grin feels permanent. You've gone from windshield wiper to sidewalk merchant in 24 hours. The transformation isn't external, it's internal. You've upgraded from survival to strategy. You think about Elon Musk, not the billionaire. The broke, skinny guy who once lived on $1 a day eating hot dogs and oranges while building his first company. You remember reading that he viewed money as a tool, not a destination. That sticks with you. You pocket the cash and head to the park. You sit next to a man in his 60s wearing a trench coat in 85-degree heat. His name is Lorenzo. He calls himself a bus stop philosopher. He offers unsolicited advice in exchange for two things: attention and silence. "You want to get rich, kid," he says without looking at you. "Start by becoming valuable before you become expensive." You raise an eyebrow. He continues unfazed. "Everyone wants a raise before they've earned trust. You? You're earning trust with every bottle, every thank you, every hour you're not complaining. Keep that up, and they'll line up to pay you more than you're asking. Later that day, you make your first reinvestment. You buy bulk candy at a discount mart. Tightly packed lollipops, mints, gum. You turn your backpack into a mobile candy store. You station yourself outside a community college during class change. You smile. You say, "Need a sweet boost before midterms?" Boom, you're in. You're learning something essential. Money doesn't make you rich. Leverage does. Momentum does. That awkward first sale where you fumble the words and they laugh, but still buy, that's priceless. And then it happens. A student named Tara stops, buys a mint. She says, "You know, you should be on TikTok." You're like, "I don't know, the most likable guy selling gum." You blink. TikTok. "Yeah," she says. "There are people who'd eat this story up. $5 to 500? That's content." You don't have a phone, but you remember this moment. You make $80 that day. You've now passed your own disbelief. You sit under a tree, peeling off sweaty dollar bills and laying them out like tarot cards. You laugh again. Not out of irony, but because your brain can't believe how real this is starting to feel. And you haven't even hit the weirdest part yet. The next morning, while passing a garage sale, you meet a man selling painted coconuts. That's right, coconuts, with faces. One has googly eyes and says boss level. Another has Karen detector written across its front. You buy one for $3. Not because you need it, but because he tells you something that stays with you. If people laugh and remember, they'll always come back. Inspired, you start decorating your candy with little sticky notes. You got this. Caffeine substitute. Cheaper than therapy. It works. People take pictures. You're becoming memorable. You're not just selling, you're storytelling. There are many people who still argue about the results of Enrich. Is it the grind that pays off? Or the luck of being noticed? The truth, it's both. But mostly it's showing up, even when nobody claps. You finish the day with $117. You eat a warm meal that doesn't come from a wrapper. You rent a hostel bed for the night. You take a real shower. As the water washes over you, you realize money didn't make you feel clean. Choice did. Agency did. That night, you lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. You whisper to yourself, "What's the next move?" And for the first time in 3 days, the question doesn't scare you. It thrills you. The next morning, sunlight seeps through the thin curtain of your hostel bed. It's soft, kind. It doesn't rush you. Your bones feel like they belong to someone else, someone rested. You blink twice, stretch, and instinctively reach for your pocket. The cash is still there, $117, warm from your body heat. Not folded like panic money, but stacked like it means something. You sit on the edge of the bed, and a strange feeling creeps in. Stability. It's not a house or a job or a trust fund. It's the fact that you've made it this far without begging, without breaking, and without blaming anyone. Today you make your boldest move yet. You use a chunk of your money, $40, to buy a basic prepaid phone. No apps, no distractions. Just enough to call, text, and Google cheap things to flip for profit. You dive into the second-hand market, sniffing out underpriced items with a nose sharper than a clearance tag at Walmart. At a thrift store, you find a vintage camera for $15. It looks dusty but solid. You wipe it off on your shirt, test the mechanics, and Google the model. It sells for $60 online. Boom, you're officially flipping now. You also start volunteering at a food pantry, not for the free meals, but for the conversations. You meet a woman named Joy who teaches you the psychology of giving. People want to help others who help themselves. If you show them you're not waiting to be saved, they'll open doors for you that money can't. And she's right. By the end of the week, Joy connects you to a man who runs a farmer's market. You barter your hustle for a booth corner. There you sell your candies, bottled water, a few flipped goods, and stories. Every product has a story now, a reason to smile, or a joke that lands like a feather on a stressed-out mind. You start hearing it more often. I'd rather buy from you. Why? Because you've become relatable wealth. Not flashy, not untouchable, but earned, quiet, layered like a thrifted jacket that somehow fits perfectly. And it hits you, this is what enrich actually means. It's not just capital, it's capacity. The ability to turn one move into many. To take rejection and recycle it into strategy. You've gone from a guy with a rag to a guy with a reason. There are many people who still argue about the results of enrich. Does it mean becoming a millionaire, owning a yacht, or just not worrying about groceries anymore? You used to think it was one of those. Now you think it's all of them, and none of them. It's waking up and knowing that money isn't your jailer. It's your tool. And just when you're feeling like the king of frugality, the universe gives you your final test. It starts with a message on your new phone, from a number you don't recognize. It's Tara, the student from the candy stand. She says, "Hey, I posted your story." It kinda blew up. You log into an internet cafe and look it up. Your photo, next to the caption, "This guy is turning $5 into a life." 50,000 likes, comments, shares, people offering ideas, support, collaborations. One comment stands out. "This is the type of energy that makes me want to quit my job and start over, with $5 and a smile." You laugh, out loud, because you're not a guru, you're not special, you're just showing up, being seen. That's the part nobody tells you. People aren't inspired by perfection. They're inspired by momentum. And yours is real. You start getting offers. "Can we interview you? Do you want to speak at our event? Would you do a podcast?" You don't say yes to everything. That's another kind of enrich, the ability to say no without fear. And then one morning, you do something that shocks even you. You open your wallet, look at the cash inside, $312, and you don't count it. You just smile, walk down the street, and buy a hot coffee. Not because you need it, but because you can. So now here you are. You've gone from a crumpled bill to a self-built rhythm. It didn't take magic. It didn't take connections. It took choice, tiny ones, stitched together like beads on a string. Every morning you woke up and said, "Let's try again." And that was enough. Enrich in its quietest form is never about the number in your account. It's about the space it gives your soul to breathe. It's knowing that if you had to do it all again, you could. Maybe not the same way. Maybe not with the same luck, but with the same resilience. You've learned the feel of coins before they multiply. The weight of a backpack stuffed with product instead of fear. You've felt the sting of being ignored and the buzz of being seen. You've listened to philosophers in trench coats and taken advice from people who sell coconuts with googly eyes. And most of all, you've stopped asking, "What can I get with $5?" Instead, you now ask, "What can't I build from scratch?" The sun is lower now. The sky burns gently with pink and amber. Your shoes are scuffed, but they carry you like old friends. You walk a little slower. Not because you're tired, but because you finally have the luxury to take your time. And that, right there, is rich.